Hello and welcome to Platform Choose, where I talk to funny people about what they would do if they ruled the world. I'm here with Amanda Hatch in her
Hello.
campaign headquarters.
No, thank you. This is a dream.
If you could lay out your basic platform for the people.
My basic platform for the people. We're not reading people's birth charts enough. I think it's the biggest problem. Like, people are like, oh, separation of church and state. Well, let's find a happy medium. Let's all just devote our lives to astrology.
It's sort of a nice little loophole around the separation of church and state because astrology, as of right now, is not like an established church. It's a belief system. It's a spirituality. Yeah.
And we don't, need to have a church for it. Like, we could just be, I don't know, more mindful of people's birth charts or just, walk around and be like, you're totally, a Leo rising or something.
Right.
And then that gets people talking, especially when you're considering who we're putting in office.
Oh, tell me about it.
I don't think Geminis should be able to run. Donald Trump, for example.
Oh, is he a Gemini?
He is a Gemini and a Leo rising. I'm not saying all Geminis are like this, but a lot of them are they contradict themselves, and they're known as being two-faced, and Mr. Donald Trump sure is that.
That's the biggest criticism that I think anyone has said of Donald Trump. It's like,
of
all the things that he's done, it's like he's two-faced, he's fake. That's the worst part of this administration. You want him to just be more straight up and real. If you want to have a draconian government that sort of, treats certain people as subhuman, that's cool, but make eye contact with me when you tell me that.
Just make some freaking eye contact. Also, eat a vegetable.
Oh my God. And is that something that Geminis don't do, or is that just something that Donald Trump doesn't do?
No, I mean, he's a Leo rising.
Okay.
Which, I feel like they're very, I mean, Leos are known for being kind of narcissistic or just very, into themselves.
You emphasize that he should eat a vegetable. Is there any is that going to be an element of your administration?
Yes.
I don't want to out you, but Amanda Hatch is vegan. So does that have anything to do with what, your administration will look like?
Well, I think everyone should eat a vegetable, Chandler.
One?
Or two, but, I know it's hard for some people. I think everyone should try to eat a vegetable. I feel like meat sweats are, a really big issue.
Is that would say is the biggest problem that's facing this country right now?
No, absolutely not. We have a lot of problems.
Okay.
I think everyone is too worried about being right. It's okay to not know things. I realize as I'm talking about astrology.
Right.
Let's get comfy.
Sure.
Talking about astrology, I want to implement everyone just really really follows that. But I don't know a lot about astrology. I don't know nothing about nothing. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just a simple gal, sitting by the countryside, looking wistfully.
Yeah, and when I sit on the countryside and look wistfully, I think, hey, we should all be stretched.
May I ask you something?
Yeah.
It feels like, and I don't want to out you, but it feels like you sort of fell into a little bit of a southern accent when reflecting on this sort of simple, rustic background that you have. Is there anything to that?
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Uh-oh, it's coming out again.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't be so political, and I wouldn't be so afraid to be so simple if we were all physically stretched.
So stretching also a very big thing. So far we have be mindful of the zodiac.
Be mindful of the zodiac.
Eat a vegetable, kill those meat sweats. And then once you're ready to do that, then sort of physically people can stretch out and
I'm not 100% on the physical stretching. I want to hear the people's thoughts on that because I do care about you guys. I think if we were all physically stretched and just looked like little wiki sticks or rubber or something and we're just beep bopping,
right.
Who's gonna do any harm? No one's gonna do any harm. We're just gonna be beep bopping.
And if everyone were stretched out, were the same sort of width and length, then we'd be sort of more equitable as a society by default.
That seems a little tricky. I don't think we should all be stretched to the exact same width and the exact same length. I don't think we should do that.
Okay.
Exactly the same. I
what
think
does
we
it
should
look
all
like?
still be a little different, but I just think we should look more a little bit like rubber, a little more like wiki sticks.
Okay. Can you explain for the uninitiated what are wiki sticks?
I don't know, Chandler. When I was younger, I went to Margaritaville.
Okay.
And I would get a little impatient.
We're setting the scene.
Setting the scene. Margaritaville. Actually, wrong. It wasn't Margaritaville. It was a restaurant called Margarita's, not a part of the chain Margaritaville.
Oh.
Anyway, I was sitting and I was impatient because I was a child, and the waitress noticed I was impatient and she handed me and my brother a little pack of colorful wax sticks. And you can make little people out of them, or little figures. They're like waxy, and then they're annoying because then you go to eat your food and your hands are all waxy, and you have to ask for a wet nap. Everyone should be treated equally. I will say, I think straight, cis, white men should be referred to kid at all times.
Referred to kid?
Kid.
Can you explain what that is?
Like, hey, kid.
Oh, referred to as kid.
Even if you're talking to like a 46-year-old man, just say kid. And it's not like to be mean, it's just like, just so they know.
Now, I don't want to out myself,
Okay.
but I am a cis, straight, white man.
That's right,
And
kid.
so, there is sort of an anti-youth bias out there. Some would argue that if you were to run, I don't want to out you, but you are not over 35 years old. And so right now you're ineligible to be president. But that seems to me like it's a mistake.
Woman.
Oh, boy. Don't even get us started.
Gay.
Yeah. What?
Huh?
Oh, nothing. Because you're a woman and because you're under 35, the Constitution says you can't be president.
That's right.
So how will you work to physically extract the Constitution, which will be necessary, so that you can be the president?
How will I extract the Constitution?
Yeah, I mean, what I mean is that, like, if the Constitution says right now, like, no one under 35 or who is a woman can be president, then, like, you're going to have to change it or get rid of it or start a new one. And so I'm just sort of,
Oh, well, that comes back to, like, the birth charts. Like, maybe instead of being like, oh, that's a woman, it should be like, oh, that's a Gemini.
That could then be put on driver's licenses and stuff instead of gender.
Yeah,
it
definitely.
could be that. And then, so then what's your sun sign?
Well, that's funny because I thought I was a Virgo my whole life, but come to find out I am a Libra.
Oh, my God.
I found this out like 2 months ago.
And this, I'm sure, was earth-shattering.
It was earth-shattering. I found out that the sun doesn't change to a different sign at midnight every day because it depends on where you were born and at the time you were born. I was born the last day of Virgo.
Right.
At 4 p.m.
And the switch was at what time?
At 2 p.m.
Oh, my God.
I'm Chandler. I don't know. Also, like, I've done my birth chart a few times because my birth date on my birth certificate is 3 years off.
What?
That's right. So on my birth certificate, the stamped part,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a stamped and a signed part, like the doctor writes in the date. The stamped part says September 22nd, 1996.
Right.
The part that the doctor hand wrote says September 22nd, 1993.
Right.
Now, I understand if you get mixed up, like if you still say 2017 instead of 2018, but how on earth do you mess up 1993 and 1996?
It's unthinkable.
It's unthinkable.
That doctor was trying to send you a message.
That doctor delivered me and then wrote 1993.
I presume that you don't currently have contact with this doctor.
No.
Do you think that it would be valuable, as you've got this platform you're running for president, if the very first act was sending a message to your doctor saying, find me, tell me the truth, was I born in 93 or 96? Because then that would make a difference in your chart, right?
A huge difference.
So then it would switch you from you'd be a Virgo instead of a Libra.
I
think so.
I think I could be. I should probably reach out to him.
Because this is the most important thing that you could possibly be spending your time on, because it's going to determine what decisions are right to be made. And, I think, could we see under your administration new regulations to, force doctors and stamps to work together instead of against each other?
Yeah, doctors and stamps should be working together. This is a team effort. If the stamp looks good and the doctor looks bad, it doesn't make the stamp look any better.
No, it doesn't.
The doctor and the stamp have to look good, so it's like teamwork,
Yes.
Some days I'm like, that's so Virgo of me, and then other days I'm like, that's so Libra of me.
And how go on?
How go on?
And
it also said for Libras, typically well-dressed.
Okay. Is there any remaining perspective that you want to lend?
Check your birth certificates, kids. And maybe take a little look, because you might be older than you think. And then that means you could probably run for president and run against me. And that would be really fun, but I will crush you.
Thank you so much to Amanda Hatch. This has been Platform Choose, and conform to everything that we've said here today.
Thanks, kid. This is a message for my people, but more importantly, the deliverer of my birth. Do I have a bone to pick with you, mister? As you can see, signed on either September 22nd, 1993 or September 22nd, 1996 that I hereby certify that I attended this birth and the child was born at the hour, date, and place signed below. So which is it, mister? Am I a Virgo or a Libra? We don't know. It's bothering me, damn it, so it must be bothering you. We need to get to the bottom of this because you need to know who's running this country. That is all.